Alright lads, so the newest characters in Bleach Brave Souls are finally here, new Squad Zero characters, and of course today on the channel we are going to be showcasing them, and in this case we're going to be starting with, unfortunately, the least exciting of the three, KIRIO Hikifune. So personally, I say she's the least exciting of the three because as a character, she's at least my least favorite when compared to the other four Squad Zero characters. But even so, in this particular banner, she unfortunately got the short end of the stick here with how they basically designed her. So for starters, KIRIO is a Heart Soripa Squad Zero character with the human kill ability. She's a range character and she's mostly designed for the range Squad Zero and also human guild quest. That's ideally where you want to use her, and while her damage output isn't anything too bad, they definitely make it so you can use her outside of guild quests. And I'm mainly saying that because of her damage output. I mean, she has Frenzy +2. When you do inflict a stat element, you get an 80% SP boost, and then you also do 40% more damage to paralyzed enemies. Alongside that, you also have a boost SA2, which can heal you, but it's a booster boost, so it's giving you 43% extra attack, focus, and also defense. In terms of damage output, when she inflicts a stat element, like, she's actually hitting quite hard. For any other character, that's actually a pretty good skill set, but unfortunately, where this character starts to fall off a tad bit, it mainly comes to the strong attack hit that she actually does have. Once more, it's another character that is designed for a ranged guild quest with, unfortunately, a melee SA2. Despite this boost being the main reason why you might want to use it in guild quests, it does mean that it, one, can't inflict any stat elements, and two, also doesn't do any damage in the guild quest that she wants to be used in. And you'll see it in the gameplay too, it gets even worse because the SA1, the strong attack that she'll be using more often, unfortunately is one of the worst strong attack ones you can get in the game. Had this been any other better strong attack one, it would have made her a tad bit better, but ultimately, and again you'll see it in the video, what hurts this character most is not the skills that she does have, it comes down to the strong attacks. The SA2 not doing any damage, not inflicting stat elements, and the SA1 not being good enough to compensate for the fact that her SA2 in guild quest is doing no damage. But for the sake of the video, these are the accessories that we are going to be using: a lieutenant's badge, alongside a fortification pill, and also artisanal tea set. As for the links, we're going with a mixture of full stamina, recharge, strong attack damage using these three particular links. And when it comes to bonus abilities, we went with full stamina and also focus. We'll be changing her throughout the video. If you're taking into epic rage, you can give her weakened defense, and in guild quest content where this character wants to be used, if you can keep it at full stamina, this is what you do want to go with. But if you do find you're taking damage, you might want to go with SP and also focus. Alright then, so let's check out the character's gameplay. First up, let's look at SA1, right? And this is what you're going to see what I mean when it's not really the most consistent. It's the pushback attack. As you can see there, in some cases it does actually kind of help us out because it does hit quite a few times. Has a good chance to inflict stat elements. SA2 is going to be a 960 in front of her. In terms of like strong attack damage and also range, it's a good attack. For content like this, like, it's not bad. Unfortunately, it can't inflict any stat elements, but the main problem many comes when you take into guild quest is not doing any damage, right? But you can see it, we're not clearing the fastest, but we are clearing like too slow, to be fair. And that again comes from the strong attack damage that she does have. It's not bad by any means. Frenzy +2 with a boost, SP boost, and visually, you know what? I don't mind her visuals. It's obviously all based around the Cage of Life. That's basically the only thing that she really does do in the Squad Zero fight. But visually, I definitely do prefer this version when compared to the odd one, which, to be fair, are very similar. You can see that we did use the SA2, had some nice back range to it, and at least when it comes to single player content, we are still actually kind of one-shotting despite that SA2 not doing any damage. Once more, getting the SP boost once we do use that SA1, and then let's go here use our sub bomb. And then we take him down. So if you see the actual sub animation itself, you can see they were very limited on what they could do as a sub animation for this character, but I think it turned out alright. So in terms of just our first initial run, first impressions, again, kind of what you expect, right? Like, our damage output isn't bad. We didn't have much struggle there in terms of clearing this particular quest, despite the not having killer here. We were inflicting the stat element. We were getting the SP boost more often than not. It's just that, again, her kit isn't the fastest, and you don't really have much reason to take it into something like Inheritance Trials, for example. And this will be the part where I take it maybe into co-op content, but realistically, unless you're a massive KIRIO fan, you have no reason to actually do that. Next up though, let's take it into the ultra difficult UI epic raids. In this case, we are a bonus. This is the build that we are going with. We have a good set of familiars here with some good accessories and some good links. Alright, so the way I'm playing this now is that we're going to stack full recharge, right? Usually I would, oh, my bad, I completely messed up there. Luckily, not too bad. What we usually do for epic raid content is stack full stamina and strong attack damage. But in this case, I'm going with more recharge. So in this case, we can actually help out our team more so because we are providing them with the extra bit of stats, right? At the same time, despite us already having a healer in our team with the Isane, we're also going to be a pretty good team healer, keeping our potential teammates at full stamina. And in this case, we have a pretty good team. Obviously, Ichigo being a bonus does help here. But everyone, for the most part, is actually doing more damage. And that's going to allow us to clear this quest pretty fast, right? Because remember, this boss, the Ultra one in particular, does have 50 million HP. Let's get out the way. And that was a pretty easy run, despite two lads actually autoing. I should probably turn off auto, but we did get a 40-second run there. I actually did take a hit there, but luckily we did have an Ichigo in the team giving us the immunity. And maybe in that case, I didn't do the most damage, but we are getting the bonus medals, and we are most importantly buffing our team with the extra stats, attack, focus, and also defense by our SA2. If we didn't have any Asane in our team, we would have also been getting some heals too. Let's try one more run, though. In this case, in this particular team, it's actually working quite well for us here. We have 4 characters that can't inflict any status ailments, and then we also do have an Asane, where if she does inflict a status ailment, it's not going to matter too much because we are also then doing 40% more damage, since all of us here, or more so since me and Asane can both inflict lacerate. Let me use my summon, why not? Doesn't actually do anything because I didn't give weakened defense. I thought in this case, since I'm playing the more support role, I would keep the focus slot, but we are absolutely breezing through this epic raid. That is again thanks to our teammates though. Everyone's definitely doing their own part here. Let me use my SA2. We can, with the recharge that we have given her, keep that SA2 active the entire time. And look at that, another very fast run, 30 seconds done, and this is the ultra difficult one too, 50 million HP. We were fortunate enough actually in this particular run, didn't actually notice myself during it, that we did get the SP boost, so we were doing an extra bit of damage there. And once more, since we were rocking a full bonus run, we were getting 540 medals. Overall, not too bad. At least for the next 2 weeks in the current awakened, at least for the next 2 weeks in the current ultra epic raid for Yuha. So KIRIO's going to be really good for the next 2 weeks in this epic raids. But again, I think it's better to play as a support character since she does provide the SA2 boost. So next up, let's take it into Guild Quest, the content where she wants to be used in. Now what we're going to do is compare her to the best Guild Quest support in the game, that being Maid Orihime. So for our very first team, we're using a 2-5 Macy with these accessories and also links. These are our bonus abilities. She, remember, is 2 out of 5, so level 10 SP and also level 10 focus. Our second character is going to be Quincy Ichigo. Once more, 2 out of 5, level 10 SP, level 10 focus. These are his bonus abilities, and these are his accessories and also links. These are going to be our main 2 DPS characters, and then we also are using Orihime. These are her accessories and also links. They don't really matter that much. Remember, she is not here to do damage. She is here to buff our team, keep them protected, and also give them the immunity. So jumping into this run then, the run itself was actually quite good. We did get quite lucky with the status ailment procs, and it is kind of reliant with Macy inflicting status ailments if we can. We're doing more damage, especially if we do have a strong attack to follow up, because remember, weakening is nerfed in Guild Quest. It only lasts around 2 or so seconds. So once we do apply the HP boost and then we have a strong attack to follow up, we do significantly more damage, and that is basically the key to getting through most of the bosses with like 1 to 3 strong attacks, right? Now the great thing about Orihime in this particular case, as we demonstrated multiple times in the past, is 1, she's giving us the boosted stats. Most importantly though, she is keeping our team at full stamina. She's giving us the 5 hit barriers, or more so 3 for our teammates, but at the same time she's also giving immunity. Now in this case with Macy and also Ichigo, they don't have immunity, so that extra immunity, being able to stand wherever we want to, definitely did help us out. Now the run that you are seeing is a run that we were able to complete with, but there were multiple times as I was trying to get this particular run where the damage wasn't good enough. Most of the time we were able to get to the final boss, but a lot of times this team lost was thanks to the timer. We didn't beat the quest fast enough, and that mainly comes from the fact that, again, you know, it is very RNG dependent whether I inflict the status ailment or Ichigo. We're both kind of fighting for the SP boost at the same time, and then of course Orihime isn't doing any damage at all. She's still of course a great support character. She was helping the team without doing damage, and that's why we put it in the team. But a team like this, the reason why it lost when it did lose is because we just didn't do enough damage. But it was still able to get to the final boss more often than not, and we were still able to beat it relatively easy. Only took around 10 or so minutes to get this particular run. Now let's have a look at the team with KIRIO. So this time we're using KIRIO instead of Orihime, because finally this week in particular has a dedicated booster, and that of course is KIRIO. Now because we are using KIRIO, this is where the problem starts to come in. The 2 other characters that we are using don't have immunity. With Macy it's fine because we can stand in like the bottom left corner to have that immunity, but Ichigo needs to have immunity because he's an AI controlled character. He's going to stand wherever he wants to stand. So because of that, unfortunately, I didn't own the recharge and freeze duration, so I gave him the Jushiro link with the 100% freeze immunity. But because I had to give him that link, it now means he has 12% less recharge, and that technically does affect his DPS. But for KIRIO, these are accessories and also links. Once more, a mixture of recharge, full stamina, strong attack damage, giving as much SP as possible, and her bonus abilities are the exact same, full stamina and also focus. And then jumping into this particular run, what I noticed is that this team, obviously, to no one's surprise, DPS is better. We're able to do more damage, and that is thanks to the fact that KIRIO is now able to do damage, right? Her SA1 and also SA3 can't do damage. It's super unfortunate, though, I will say, that her SA2 can't do damage. While I don't have any footage of this, while playing the runs, trying to get this particular run that you are seeing, I did notice at times that I was kind of waiting to hold strong attacks for the next wave, but the enemy was like one shot, like almost one strong attack away from being defeated, and KIRIO would use the SA2, and it just sucks that it did no damage whatsoever. But once more, because we're now using KIRIO on the same team, there's now 3 characters in this team that are fighting to get the SP boost. So the damage output is very inconsistent in a way. It is good, but it is inconsistent whether I get the SP boost with Macy or Ichigo or KIRIO, for example. But one big thing that I did notice with this particular team is that while it was true we were able to do more damage, we were able to get to the final boss and beat this quest faster, but when we lost with this team, it mainly came from the fact that our teammates were dying. We couldn't reliably keep our team at full stamina, so you have to definitely play around that. Luckily for Macy, she does have the Tracking Vortex SA2, and that's able to keep your team safe, but there are times where if you go to the next wave and you don't have a strong attack ready, there's a good chance both KIRIO and also Ichigo are going to actually die. But overall, while we did get a tad bit faster with this particular team, in a way, it kind of performed the same. With Aaroniero in the team was overall safer. We were able to get to the final boss every single time, but ultimately the biggest problem with that particular team was that we weren't able to do enough damage most of the time, and it was really RNG dependent whether we do inflict a status on. With KIRIO's team, we were able to do more damage, but at the same time, we had significantly less protection. By using KIRIO on our team, we had to, in a way, nerf Quincy Ichigo, and due to the lack of barriers, at times, KIRIO and Ichigo would just quickly get defeated after a wave spawns in if I had no strong attacks to follow up. So overall performance in Guild Quest, she basically performs like any other booster. Again, there was almost no difference between her and also Maid Orihime, but then again, we are comparing her to the best support character in the entire game. If you don't have Maid Hime, but you have KIRIO, of course, at that point, you would then want to use KIRIO, right? But if you have Maid Orihime, well, then that lessens the need to actually pick up KIRIO, because again, in terms of clear time, it didn't make that much of a difference. And ultimately, I'll be honest, that comes down from the fact that KIRIO can't do damage on her SA2. Had she been able to do damage on the SA2, I feel like it would have made a bigger difference, because the SA2 itself can do a lot of damage, especially with the radius that she does have, so it is really unfortunate that the SA2 once more is considered another melee attack. So overall, what do I think about the new Squad Zero KIRIO? Obviously, she's the worst in the banner. I think she's a good character in a vacuum, but I think the performance with the wig that you want to use her in, it doesn't do her any favors. If she was given any other killer, I feel like she would have been a tad bit more impressive, but it's unfortunate because the Guild Quest week you want to use her in, your 2 best characters are Quincy Ichigo and also Macy. Great characters, by the way, but as a team, these 3, they don't really work well together since they're all trying to inflict the SP boost, and as well, because Quincy Ichigo doesn't have any status immunity, you're going to have to give him that status immunity when using someone like KIRIO. It's much easier just to use someone like Maid Orihime, in my opinion. At the same time, once more, the SA2 not doing any damage really does suck. In my opinion, I think this character would have been significantly more impressive had she just been a Nats character. It's very rare for me to ask for an Nats character over an SP character, but I feel like this is a perfect example of that. This Guild Quest week didn't need this KIRIO. What they needed is normal attack damage supports, because they have none of that. And it's very strange. I really thought Caleb would be giving us a lot of Nat characters with the introduction of very hard Guild Quests, but we've only gotten one since the 8th anniversary. Had she been a Nat character, had she been a no attack damage character, the SA2 not doing any damage wouldn't be that big of a deal. Once more, I think she's a good character in a vacuum, but in the content where you want to use her in, she's not even like the greatest. She doesn't make that much of a difference. They definitely tried to make her usable outside of Guild Quest, and by that, they didn't give her any Guild Quest specific skills, but maybe they should have. So a performance in the quest you want to use her in would have been a tad bit more better. At the same time, had she been a melee character, maybe that would have also been a tad bit more impressive. So overall, again, I think KIRIO's like a good character. I wouldn't say she's trash. Maybe I'm being a bit lenient on this character, but she does have a place in this game being a Guild Quest supporter, and I feel like she might get better the better that week becomes, because again, right now, your options for the range human Squad Zero Guild Quest are very limited. And I believe maybe in the future, the more characters we get for this particular Guild Quest week, especially no attack damage characters, she'll be better, because she is a good booster. But I think in the team that you have to use it in right now, the best possible team, she doesn't work the greatest with them. Take out Quincy Ichigo, put a Nat character in there that has a lot of no attack damage in Guild Quests, and I think the team will be quite fine. But yeah, overall, KIRIO, okay character, definitely could have been better. Another character, unfortunately, hurt by the fact that the SA2 does no damage in the quest you want to use her in. And again, as I said already, I can't believe I'm saying it, but I would have preferred if she was a no attack damage character. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you like to think of this character in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.